But this project, I say, is like we put in a plant in the ground in Falmouth. The first year it sleeps, the second year it creeps, the third year it leaps. This slept for decades. But because we had biologists from the state and local government and federal biologists who considered this such an important stream, thought was always that at some point could we restore it. It's a cold water river. Most of the river water comes from groundwater springs. Probably only 5% comes over the surface. Not only is a herring run and an eel run, but it's also a brook trout stream. Lots of wetland wildlife, so you have frogs and toads and salamanders and birds and turtles, and when you come in the springtime you could see snapping turtles laying eggs. The other aspect of the river is the vegetation. We put a few trees and a few woodland shrubs, but everything else you see out here has come from seed that was buried for hundreds of years. So this river was dammed. It was the first river that was dammed in Falmouth in 1700. For 200 years, what behind me was a lake. It was called Factory Lake. And then in the late 1800s, that was drained, and cranberry bogs were built here. And to grow cranberries, you put sand on them. So for 100 years, that area was built up with sand. When you took the sand away, as was done for this restoration project, the seeds that were in that wetland soil sprung back to life. The first grants came in, we applied for them in 2009. So every other year we'd get a fairly small grant, 50 to 60,000, and we moved along a little bit, but we made enough progress, and we had the plans for restoring the lower bog and removing Lower Bog Dam. We were successful in getting a federal grant, actually 17 grants totaling almost $5 million, and almost $1 million in volunteer labor and in-kind labor from the town. So we removed 3 barriers to fish passage. We put in 2 boardwalks that span across the floodplain, and then we had a beautiful bridge built at John Parker Road. Check with Coonamessett River Trust. They can always use volunteers for their project. Check with the 300 committee. They also can always use volunteers. And then check with the conservation department, and especially with Mark Kaspersik, who's our conservation land manager. And I can tell you, Mark and I already have projects ready for in mind.